All right, guys, let's connect today, February 9th, 2025. Coming at you for the live stream. Today is a Super Bowl Sunday, if you care about that. But it is. 2025 Super Bowl, Eagles, Chiefs. Who you got? If you can tell by the hat I have on, it's a Dallas Cowboys hat. So I'll tell you who I'm rooting for just from that alone. But other than that, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound. I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Walking Dead, even though the latest news has been Daryl has been filming. No sign of Carol. Daryl's got some other woman that he's filming with. He's got a new motorcycle. And so, yeah. Don't know what that means for anything. Don't know how it connects, if it does or not. Super Bowl is tonight. And, I just saw a thing as I was getting ready for the stream. There's this sponsored teaser for the ad of Reese's for the Super Bowl. And there's this lady in a motorized scooter, and she's going up towards a volcano, and she's like, lava on the scooter. And that's where it ends. So we'll have to see what happens with that. That's kind of the coolest thing about Super Bowl, in my opinion, if you don't have your team playing in it, are the commercials, the trailers, just the entertainment value. I don't really care much about the Super Bowl halftime show, but I might watch a little bit on there as well. I just wish it was a little earlier or even yesterday. I wish it was Super Bowl Saturday because it's just so long of a day. 6:30 it's supposed to start. Probably won't have kickoff until 6:45, whenever, some weird time, 6:47. And then commercials, this, that. The halftime show is 20 minutes, 30 minutes? I mean, there's enough time, or the halftime time is, I don't know how long the show is, but just a lot of time involved with it. But nonetheless, I feel like I have to watch it. My student is from Buffalo, New York, and he's a huge Buffalo Bills fan, and he does not care about the Super Bowl one bit. So I understand if people don't care about it at all. There was a thing I just read that there was these Eagle fans that bought tickets during the NFC Championship game after they won. The Eagles won. They bought tickets at the 25-yard line for $14,000, and now those tickets are going for $6,000. So that kind of sucks. But I would personally never want to go to the Super Bowl. I'd rather go to the city that the Super Bowl is in, maybe do some different events there or meet some people, or you never know, because there's a lot of other celebrities, players that aren't in the Super Bowl, and be kind of cool as well in New Orleans this year. So other than that, guys, what are you watching? We finished up The Night Agent Season 2. We're getting ready for Reacher, getting ready for 1923 Season 2 and Reacher Season 3. Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 comes out on Thursday, is the final so many episodes, and there's a trailer out for that where they go back to where it all started, the All Valley Tournament. Instead of this gigantic, huge Sakai Taikai, martial arts competition, now they're just going back to California where the All Valley was. It's like the national championship in college going back to just a conference championship. It's not really the same weight to it, but either way, I'll watch it so we got 2 Eagles so far. I know some people will be rooting for the Chiefs, and a lot of people don't care about this Super Bowl. They're over the Chiefs winning. And if you're an Eagles fan, obviously you're going to root for the Eagles. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're going to root for the Chiefs. But if you're not a fan of either team, do you even care about it? I don't know. And a lot of people have said time and time again, especially my dad, is saying that he's over the Chiefs. The Chiefs fatigue is definitely real. And I totally get it. I understand that, they're trying to go for a three-peat, which I think is awesome. I'm actually rooting for the three-peat because if it happens, which the Eagles could definitely win, but if it happens, it's not going to ever happen probably in a long time, if ever again, because the best teams that had a chance, whether it was the Steelers or the Cowboys or even the Bills when they went to 4 straight in a row, like that was pretty amazing, which I don't know if that'll ever happen again, but you never know. Never say never. The Chiefs, the Patriots, there's been a lot of great teams in the NFL over the past, 50, 53, whatever Super Bowl has been, or 54, 55, whatever the Super Bowl they're on in 50 plus years. It's definitely something that is kind of cool achievement. And the little fun fact that people are finally realizing now is that Pat Riley owns the three-peat trademark. So he is like the, general manager of the Heat now. He's involved with the Miami Heat, the NBA basketball team. And he trademarked three-peat on shirts and this and that, a bunch of different trademarks. And if the Chiefs win, they're expecting him to allow the trademark so he can make some money, because he'll get a piece of everything sold, I would assume, too. So, but that's just a little fun fact that Pat Riley owns the trademark. And sometimes it's all about those trademarks and what you own on there, too. So other than that, guys, what are you watching? What are you excited for? I don't know. We're kind of in a little hiatus between, different shows right now, too. So, Jack Q&A, would I ever do a review for each season of Dexter if I watch it? Maybe. I mean, that's definitely something I'll look forward to down the road. But every couple months, there's just so much different shows and movies and stuff to watch that I just haven't had time to watch the Dexter stuff. And I know there's a lot of seasons, and then there's Dexter Origins or something this and there too. And there's always been something else to kind of watch. And I've always said this, I'm a 1 episode a day kind of person, where I like to watch a season and stretch it out. Like, I'm not going to binge watch everything. Like, just enjoy it a little bit. Because what you watch is something on to the next, something on to the next, something on to the next. And before you know it, it'll be 1923, Reacher, Cobra Kai, other shows, other movies, something else to watch on there too. And I know that Dexter is a good show. I just haven't watched it. And I don't know, like, I'm gone past the days now myself, honestly, are to, like, watch something and make videos on it. Because what I used to do is, get screenshots of stuff and talk about the stuff on the shows. And that's not easy. Like, that's not a thing you just go get the screenshots. Like, you have to watch it and take some stuff and some pictures and some, everything, break it down a little bit. And it was time consuming. It's not strenuous and difficult from that aspect, but it's time consuming, right? And we only have 24 hours in a day. And when you run a clinic and you come home and you got to work out, and, I'm on chapter 13 of my book series. And so do a little of this and take care of my cat and take care of the house, and got to get in golf shape because my golf trip is coming up in a couple months. So I got to start that going again. And, there's just a lot of things going on, and, to really have a show. And, I'm trying to post little news here and there that I posted that Dark Winds, the season 3, I believe. I gave out that release date in the just a post on YouTube, and I'm guessing that Dead City will come on after that, which is probably looking like a late April, if not early May release. So we haven't heard anything about it. There's been no trailer just yet, and there's no exact date for the return of Dead City and season 2, whenever that'll air. But I'm in no rush for that, because once it starts, it'll be over in 6 weeks, because it's 6 episodes, and that's how they do it too. So, yeah. So Jeannie says that she watched Dark Winds, couldn't handle it because that ain't her chi and lep porn. So, leap porn. I don't know if that, I didn't read the book or whatever. I'm guessing it's a book or books, I believe. And I've never read a book and watched the show or movie. So I don't know. I can't weigh in on any series that's ever, because I would assume the book series is always better. It's always because you don't have to actually physically make or shoot or film or whatever you're saying of the actual book series material to go on screen. And you can just write it. You know, the written word is much easier than visualization and actually bringing it to life on film too. So, but Jack says, do you think we'll ever see any Fear the Walking Dead characters again? I don't think so. And to be honest, I mean, I guess if you consider Morgan a Fear the Walking Dead character, that's the only character I'd want to see again. There's nobody on Fear the Walking Dead that was enough of a character that I would want to see in the final season. The way they did stuff with Daniel and Strand and Madison and Alicia and all that stuff, and it just wasn't worth watching. And I don't care if anyone see this character, because I don't know what they're doing with the Walking Dead universe anymore, because it's just all filler. It's just all nonsense of they're there, they're this, they're that. They don't want to connect the dots. They don't want to bring anything more in. I just feel like, you know, unless John Doherty was still alive, either one, I guess, that would be the other character that was straight from Fear the Walking Dead that I would want to see on something else. But they killed him off, and they did it something in the stupid way that they love to do. So it's just nonsense, and that's what Fear the Walking Dead is, just nonsense. So, but I don't think we'll ever see them again, and I don't know if we'll see Morgan again, and I don't know if we'll see Rick again, or Michonne again, or Aaron, or Father Gabriel, or any major characters that actually mean something to us. So when I just saw the pictures this morning of some recent filming of Daryl Dixon season 3, and it's like Daryl and this new woman, and Daryl on a motorcycle and a car and whatever, and there's no Carol. There's no meaningful characters. Like, and the meaningful character they had got killed off in season 2. You know, like, and we'll have to see what happens with Laurent and whatever. But it's like, okay, it's just something to kind of watch. It's just not the same level. And unless they're going to promise us some major reunions and some major things, it's just like, I don't know. And he says, I get to be the guide again for the Clear tour with Lenny James in Grantville, Georgia for the camp. That's cool. So in Grantville, that's the spot where they filmed the episode. Is it season 3, Clear it's called? I don't know what episode it is. If it's 12 or something, I don't remember. But that's a great episode. And that's a great little town that... So, Anissa, you would know better than me. Is anything open on that street, or is it just like abandoned buildings? And I believe someone bought that building that was used for filming. I don't know what the latest thing is there, too. But last time I was there, I don't think that was really a happening spot and area. And they used it to film, you know, different stuff, different shows, Marvel shows. And I believe Echo was one of those, too. So, yeah, season 3, episode 12, Clear. Thank you, Anissa. And, you know, I was there, too, on the Atlanta movie tours, and it was awesome. Like, I really enjoyed going to different filming sites. And I still think it's cool if you get the... not a lot of things are filmed in Florida anymore. Like, there were a lot of other filming locations in Florida, whether it's South Florida or here or there or whatever. And they may film certain spots and certain things of it. But... they're filming like Bad Boys mostly in Georgia, and they're filming mostly stuff in, you know, Georgia or, you know, other Louisiana, New Orleans and whatever. And so Florida doesn't really do the tax breaks anymore, so they don't really have that incentive to film here. And if you're trying to save money, which everybody is, which every business is, which every filming, production, anything is always trying to save as much money. Every studio is trying to save money as much as they can. Why not film at a location, use CGI to do that now, too? Like, CGI and all that stuff has come a long, long, long way. And so that's kind of crazy, too, you know? So I kind of wish more things were filmed in Florida, because you never know. Like, it's kind of cool to know that something is being filmed in and around where you live, as long as it doesn't disrupt travel or work or traffic or whatever. That's something that can be kind of annoying too. So, but I don't know. I'm just trying to read some of the chat on there. But other than that, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound and doing well. I know it started to warm up now here more in Florida. Hopefully wherever you're located at, it's a little warmer. I would assume it is. It's February 9th. Punxsutawney Phil said 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know how legit that is. I don't know how scientific that is. I don't know if that's actually the evidence of that supports anything. I don't know if it actually makes sense. So it's kind of interesting to see, different stuff going on and what people are going through and everything. So Jack asked, good question, Jack. Any death predictions for Stranger Things? I don't know. I feel like the writers, the whatever brothers that make Stranger Things, I doubt they want to kill anybody off, or they kill everybody off or majority of people off, and then they're able to bring them back in a way the cheesy, oh my gosh, I can't believe they killed off boop, 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 so many characters. And then 11, I'm guessing, has to sacrifice herself to go against Vecna and this. Something has to have majorly happen in the final episodes, and then they'll have the old, she's not actually gone. Dun, dun, dun. The end. I feel like they're going to do that. Besides kill off maybe, smaller characters. I don't know. It's always tough to end shows. It's always tough to end a series, a movie, a trilogy, whatever. That it's like your baby, right? There's so many things. It's kind of laughable with George R.R. Martin because he has 2 books left, I believe. And you're like, what are you doing? You can't film or you can't finish up the 2 books that you have remaining because he's connected with Dark Winds and House of the Dragon and this and that. And you're like, he's an older man now. And I get it. But don't leave your audience hanging. Come on. There's no way to do that. Please have the ending kind of wrapped up and whatever. I always kind of thought with my book series, at least, I have a beginning, a middle, and end, and really a beginning and an end, and where we go in the middle is kind of be what it is. And so you have to have a stopping point, or at least a transitional point, whatever it is, because that's just how life is. Birth, middle age, death. Birth, middle age, death. And that's different for all organisms. Anything that's alive, there's going to be a starting point, the middle halfway point, whatever age that is, and then the ending point. If it's a fruit fly or a tortoise or whatever, there's a lot of things out there too. So it's pretty interesting. But if you think of it like that, same thing with writing, storytelling. It's just the best way of thinking about it is to connect the dots when you can too. So Rob K says, we got snow today. More expected on Tuesday and Wednesday. All right. Well, that sucks. I don't know if that's good or bad. Well, my other therapists that I work with, he went to Colorado with his girlfriend the past couple days. I think he was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, comes back today. And hopefully the weather is okay in Colorado to come home back to Tampa. So we'll have to see. Anissa says, they almost finished tearing down Hawkins High School. It breaks my heart to lose filming locations. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see, this is where this was, and it's an empty space. The same thing with The Sopranos. They got rid of Satriale's, the pork store. And they're like, oh my goodness, that's gone? And yeah, if you own it, if you're going to sell it, do this, make some money on it, who cares about the filming location? It's just what it is. And so that's crazy. Rob asks if I've seen the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. I have not. I feel like this is Jurassic Park's way of really being stupid with the franchise. The best movie is Jurassic Park. Not even close. It's the best movie. And then the other Jurassic Park crap with 2 and 3 and whatever, and you do this and nonsense. And then Jurassic World. That was like kind of what it was for Jurassic Park, back to kind of the same thing. And then you had the other Jurassic World, stupid. Now this one again. And you're like, it's like Transformer movies. It's like anything, you're going to water it down, saturate the market, saturate this, have a new lead person, have a story that connects. Maybe you keep some of the connections from before, somehow, some way. But it's this, it's that, it's whatever. I mean, I'll probably watch it on a streaming service just because I feel like I have to check it out at some point. But I'm like, oh, man. So, man, M. King's back. Says, Bri, how you and the wife and the kitties been doing? It's been a while. Life's been busy, but good. Good to see you all. Hashtag fight for us. So, M. King, yeah, we're doing all right. I'm doing okay. My wife's battling something with her autoimmune stuff right now, but we're trying to figure that out. I know you haven't been here, but I lost Milo, a couple weeks ago now. He passed away, and now we just have Otis. And, yeah. So other than that, we're hanging strong, and we're pushing forward, and, it's one of those things where it's been a rough year so far, like it's a month and a half in, and it's been rough. Some years, not a lot happens, not a lot of stuff happens. So hopefully we're going to get all the rough stuff out at the beginning of the year. And then when I go on my golf trip, hopefully no problems. And the end of the year, I'm going to go on a little vacation. And so hopefully it would be all right. But we're pushing through. And that's all we can do. And, yeah, so thanks, M. King. I'm sorry we lost our cat Princess last week. I'm sorry, cat. I'm sorry, M. King, about your cat Princess. It just sucks, like anytime you lose an animal or a friend or a family member, obviously, or a colleague or anybody, whether they're passed away or they leave or whatever. It's just tough, we're creatures of habit, and 17. Yeah, she was 17. Milo was 17 and a half, so right along that 17 mark. And so that cat years, they're like 83 years old or something, in their 80s. So that's a nice long life. And it's just a sad thing when you think about it. And I talk to people about it, and some of my patients asked me about my cats and everything, and it's kind of a shocker to them when I say that Milo passed away. And I like to treat people as friends, patients as friends. I want to get them better and try to be tough, firm but fair. But I get to know them. I just be transparent, just like I am here. I don't know how else to be. I just want to be real. So I'm sorry as well, M. King, about your cat Princess. I just feel for people that have. It's, you don't know what it's like until you go through it. You don't know what it truly means. And so, Jeannie's cat Cleo was almost 18. And I guess that's about right, like 17 years. And that's a long time if you think about it, but it's just never long enough. Unless the animal is injured or suffering, or, you don't want them to be there too. And it's the right call when you do that. But it's just sad. It's just how it goes. I can't help but caring for people and animals and whatever that are in my life that mean a lot to me. But at the same point, I have no problem not connecting with people or shutting people away or getting rid of people in my life. Because all I need is a couple people. I don't need, it's not a numbers game. It's a quality game, not a quantity game. And so it's like, I like real people. And I have faults just like everybody else in here. And I want you to be okay with your faults, right? Like, I know it's okay to be vulnerable with the right people. Like, I'm not just vulnerable like any time. Like, I go to Publix and I'm like, oh, like whatever. No, like, I want to be in and out, and I'm out the door. But for people, like, it's like, I'm not here to judge anybody in here or anybody on YouTube or anybody in life, except when they come at me in a certain way. If they're nice, they're nice. If they're mean, they're mean. If they're rude, they're rude. If they're disrespectful, and so forth. Then I can make my own opinion. And I think that's the way we have to do things in life too, because we can't judge people too much. I mean, even though we're going to, but people also have to present themselves in a way if they want to, however they want to. So like, I feel like Jeannie is like screaming that, like, I'm here to judge everybody, like in a joking manner, of course. But I feel, speaking of funny, I was ripping up my Sam's Club chicken yesterday, and I go to Sam's every Saturday morning and get a chicken, bananas, and anything that's on sale. And I put on a movie or something, and I put on I think it was MGM Plus actually, and Spaceballs was coming on. And I think Spaceballs is still hilarious. I watched the entire movie. I quoted a lot of the movie, and it's amazing. It's still hilarious, and it's just funny. Like, it's just over the top funny, and it's supposed to be. And it's satirical of Star Wars, Star Trek, anything in the science fiction realm. And it's silly and funny and over the top, and I love it. It's like Alien spoof and this spoof, and there's just all these spoofs. And I don't know if anybody makes movies like Mel Brooks, especially nowadays, right? Like, I don't know what they are doing in movies now. That's like everyone would be so offended. I think everybody's chilling out a little bit, unless I'm staying away from, the nonsense on social media. Because everybody was getting so offended and so this and so that. And I don't know if I see that as much now. Maybe I'm just ignorant to the fact. I just don't know. But I just feel like maybe, I don't know. M. King says he's currently watching The Recruit on a Netflix. I've seen that on there. I hadn't watched it yet. But I might have to check that one out. I recommend The Night Agent, M. King, if you haven't seen The Night Agent. It's worth watching. There's 2 seasons now. Does anybody recommend any other shows or movies or anything? Has anybody seen any movies lately? So, yeah, I just think we have to chill out a little bit, in the world. Like, I know everything's stressful, and I have a patient, right? And she comes in, and she's there for balance and unsteadiness and vertigo. Landman is really good, M. King. Landman is, I like all the Sheridan shows, and Landman is a Taylor Sheridan show. And lady comes in, and she's not doing well, and I'm like, how you feeling? And she doesn't even talk about herself. She talks about, like, from a physical standpoint. She talks about it that she's nervous and anxious and worried about the world because of the politics and the president, and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing there too. And I get it. Trust me. If you don't like who's in office and you don't like what the government is doing, and if you don't like certain things, it can be nerve-wracking. But unless it affects you drastically, where they're cutting a program or you are a government employee that is going to lose a job or do anything there too, I just feel like we can't let it disrupt our lives and have it so impactful that I'm going to be so upset and anxious because they're cutting some international program that's going to be to like, man, that's crazy to be like hurting yourself emotionally and your mental health and everything there too, because of some program that somebody is putting in place or taking away. And I'm like, So I, try to talk, because, there is a mind-body and soul connection in therapy that I try to focus on too, because if you're anxious and worried about it, that's going to increase your blood pressure, your heart rate, vertigo, unsteadiness, Just a lot of things can come out because of that. And if we're in a heightened state, it may just be too much for us and present as physical impairments. So I try to work on that a little bit too. But I can't change anyone's mind. I can just possibly change a viewpoint or think about something a little differently, especially to calm down a little bit too. Like, there's no sense to be working yourself up into a frenzy that it's dangerous for you too. Steven says, Netflix has 2 incredible documentary movies, one on Gene Wilder and the other one is on the rock band Wham. So documentaries, oh, that's cool. John Wilder asks, how's your PlayStation doing? So my PlayStation is back up. If you didn't know, yesterday, the PlayStation Network was down for like 24 hours. And mine came back in the afternoon at some point. I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I finally got to play Fortnite on there for a little bit. And I just jumped on. Well, I tried to get on a couple times and it said that it wasn't working. And so I tried. And I finally got on later. And we played a little bit, and now everything I played this morning, and everything's good, hopefully. How's yours, John, doing? Is your PlayStation Network okay and working all right? Slizzle2290 says he's got the Kansas City referees winning a close game. Maybe. We'll have to see. I think there's going to be something that happens in the Super Bowl that says, well, the Chiefs did it again because of holding, pass interference, not a call, a blatant call that helps them out, and a no call that helps them out or something. So it just could possibly happen for sure. I mean, they do get the calls, but everybody that is the face of a franchise or like the face of the league is Patrick Mahomes. The face of the league was Tom Brady. The face of the NBA was Michael Jordan, LeBron James, whatever. They're going to get some calls in big moments, and it doesn't get any bigger than championship games. So we'll have to see what happens with that, and we're kind of... well, 4 calls is a lot. I don't know if they're going to give that many to the Chiefs. I mean, they could, but man, I don't know. Like, I mean, I definitely think there's going to be questionable things that happen anytime there's the human element. It plays a factor. So I'll have to see how it... So I'm going under, I guess. Under 4 calls. It'll probably be like 2 or 3. It'll be close. Yeah, Last of Us Season 2. I've been seeing more and more about that. Star Wars fan, my favorite football team is the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, I know they suck. And I know they're not the best right now. And I feel like in my heart that the Dallas Cowboys will not be relevant or really be a team that can win a championship until Jerry Jones steps down or hires people to actually do the... Until the Dallas Cowboys have a good general manager and a good head coach and the building blocks of the teams around them, the players, all aspects, defense... Offense, obviously, so we'll have to see how it plays out for the future of it. But I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, but they're still my team, and we'll have to see what happens down the road too. So, Slizzle2290 is watching Night Agent, Invincible, and looking forward to Reacher, Last of Us, and Dead City Season 2. Me as well. I'm looking forward to Reacher, Last of Us Season 2, Dead City Season 2, Cobra Kai, the final part, and just looking forward to all that stuff. I'm looking forward to a lot of good shows, and it's one of those things where it's a good time to be alive because so many things are happening on different streaming services. The ability to have Netflix, Prime, Apple TV, Hulu, whatever. There's a lot of good stuff everywhere to watch. And that's pretty awesome. I love the on-demand approach of streaming because it's like if you haven't watched it, you can watch it anytime. Remember back in the day when you had to watch something at a certain day or time, and if you were going to miss it, you would have to record it on a tape or a TiVo or a DVR or something. And now everything's on demand. Streaming is basically on-demand television. It's on-demand programming. It's on-demand whatever. Whenever you want to watch it, you can. And, you know, that's an awesome thing, and I'm definitely glad about it. And, you know, it's crazy because, like, if you grew up in this world, you don't know how great it is. You're just like, of course, I wake up, boom, my TV's on. What do you mean I had to wait every week? What do you mean I had to do this? What do you mean I had to change the channel without a remote? What do you mean I had 6 channels and that's it? What do you mean? Huh? Spoiled, man. Spoiled. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need cable anymore. You just need internet. You just need the internet connection. And hopefully the internet is going to be so reliable and stuff's going to be so fast where there's no buffering or lagging or, you know, misconnection. So you'll have like a connection and a backup connection and everything there. I mean, it just, you know, and hopefully it's all the fiber optic really good stuff. So I'll have to see, you know, what the future holds for that too. Because everybody's like, how could it get better? How could entertainment get better? From Betamax to VHS to DVDs to streaming to whatever, you know, how's it going to be? I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but streaming is pretty awesome right now. Jonathan Wilder asks, Q&A, do you think PlayStation was hacked? I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't know why it would have came back in 24 hours then. If it was hacked, then it would probably be longer than that. But we'll have to see, you know. Hopefully they'll have an explanation why what happened to it. But yeah, this day and age, it could be. That's definitely a real thing. Yeah, Hardnix says, Cowboys used to be the one everyone used to hate. It's true. Everybody likes a winner when they're the underdog. And then if the underdog becomes the champion for too long or too many times in a row or too often, they're like, let somebody else win. Jeez. Like, remember when everyone was excited about the Chiefs? Like 6 years ago? Everyone was like, yes. The Chiefs, baby. I'm rooting for Mahomes. Andy Reid's going to do it. And then he won. They're like, yeah. Everyone loves the Chiefs. And then they lost one. And they've been there for like so many Super Bowls now. And then they're like winning again. And then back to back. And now a three-peat, and they're like, that's too much. Enough. Not enough of that. But I always, you know, think of it as, remember the Patriots? They were the late 2000s dynasty. You know, the 90s was kind of the Cowboys. 2000s was the Patriots, and now it's the Chiefs. But the Patriots were so much easier to hate because they cheated. They had no personality. Belichick barely said anything. Tom Brady couldn't have personality. I think everybody loved Gronk. You could like Edelman a little bit, certain players. And then this and Deflategate and the Spygate and the recordings and all these and all this crazy stuff. And no other team did that or got in trouble for it. You know, maybe the other teams did it, but they didn't get busted for it. But no other teams were known for that. So many different things. Time and time again, it kept happening. And then when you're winning and that was happening and you're like, huh. Yeah, I don't know if all sports are fixed, but it makes you go, with different things. But I don't know how you can fix every sport, everything, every game all the time. Like, I think certain moments can be, I don't want to say fixed, and I don't want to say predetermined. It can be altered. It can be spun in a way that's there, you know. The refs calls, because if something's on screen and, you know, especially football, right? Like, there's times where they get the call wrong, and then now upstairs in the booth, they can say, nope, that's actually what happened. Boop, and they fix it, and it takes 6 seconds. There's a million cameras all over the place. There's cameras above, around, every end zone, by the end zone, by this, by that, by that. There's cameras all over the place. And so they have to be able to get it right. And they still find ways, because it's just like in the NBA, right? We were talking about the LeBron, Michael Jordan debate. And LeBron is the all-time point scorer. While he's this, while he's that, he's all these things. It was a far different NBA when Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, you could be more physical. It wasn't a scoring league. It was a defense league, and people were coming down the lane, and the Pistons were going to knock you down. You want to come down here? Good luck. Boom. And now people are like, any little touch was like, boop, that's a foul. Free throws. There's a picture of Michael Jordan that I saw the other day, and he has the ball, and he's got it up here, and he got his back twisted, and Gary Payton has his forearm in his back, or in his side, like in his ribs, and it's in Jordan's side, and he's playing defense like that, and you're like, okay, that does not happen now in the NBA. That would have been a foul right away. So it's already a different game when that was happening. If Jordan had the ability to be open as much as these guys are, or get fouled as much as LaFlop and everybody else does, he would have scored like 15,000 more points. And so it's just different. And so, I'm never gonna say that Michael Jordan is not the best NBA player of all times, because to me he was. And, I still love Joe Montana. Joe Montana is my favorite quarterback of all times. And that was the same thing. Physicality, getting punished, late hits, get up, get moving. Brady, you swung at his head and missed. Boop, personal foul, 15 yards. Boop, 15 yards. Boop, 15 yards. Up. And that was the refs were helping Brady, is what everyone said. Now they're helping the Chiefs. Now they're helping this. And don't get me wrong, Brady is great, and Mahomes is great, and there's a lot of great players. I think Joe Burrow is right up there too if he keeps, if he gets a team around him. But it's just a good classic barbershop room debate. So, Steven, if you think it's true, who's going to win? The Chiefs or the Eagles then? Who is predetermined to win? Do they want the three-peat, or do they want the Eagles to win and Saquon to get the revenge and laugh at the the Giants? Like, the Giants and the Titans are two franchises that have basically set up the Eagles and the Ravens for success, because the Titans had A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry on the same team, and they did nothing with it. They went to the playoffs, and they did this, and they did whatever on there too, and they won nothing, no championships. A.J. Brown is on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry on the Ravens, pretty close, had a really good season. And the Giants, Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year, lit it up. If Saquon Barkley is not on the Eagles this year, they do not go to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Xavier McKinney was on the Packers, Super Bowl team. A lot of players that were on there, just dumb. The Giants just gave away everything and didn't do anything too. And so it's just one of those things where it's sports, it's entertainment. I don't want to get all riled up and be like, the Chiefs are going to win and the Eagles are going to do this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, if it happens, it happens. I just want to be entertained. I don't have any money on the line. I don't have any bets. And that's always a different thing, where it's like how you bet the game is what you're rooting for. Like I went to Las Vegas. Man, I don't even know what that was. 2010? Yeah, I think 2010. And it was the Saints and the Colts in the Super Bowl. And I had all these bets going when we were in Las Vegas watching the game. And that's all I cared about. I was like, all right, this guy's got to have so many catches. They have to win by this and blah, blah, blah. And, I won a little bit, lost a little bit. And it was fun. But I'm like, I don't need to worry about that anymore. It's so stressful. Yeah. I don't know how the salaries of certain players matters for scripted things, because the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, is going to be getting paid $60 million a year. So I don't know how that would equate to the Cowboys getting more wins if he's getting paid that much. So Sluzzle 2290, did you see the news or the possible news, the potential news who the next head coach of the Saints is going to be? Most likely from good reports. Good reports, so I'll have to see. Rob K says, my mom watches the Super Bowl for the commercials, and I do too. Like a couple of Super Bowls ago, it was the Eagles and the Patriots, and they played each other twice. And that's right, Sluzzle 2290. Kellen Moore is probably going to be the new coach there. So the thing is that I just want to be entertained. Because when the Patriots and the Eagles, the two franchises that I do not like at all, were playing in the biggest game of the NFL, who cares who wins? I'm going to be disappointed either way, so I was rooting for the commercials. And here I'm kind of rooting for the commercials too, because if the if the Chiefs win, okay. If the Eagles win, okay. Life goes on. And you know what? They start it all up again next year. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're the only champion that's ever going to live and it's never going to happen again. Because they play again next year, and it's all about the big moments, the big things, and how it goes down. And that's okay. Life and sports are all about entertainment, even just like shows, right? Just like we were watching The Walking Dead, and, a lot of people were super excited about The Walking Dead week in and week out. And I just look fondly back at those days where being in Georgia for the filming sites and just having all that and being around it and seeing there too. And just like sports, it's entertainment. You can get lost in that world for it there too. And some people would get upset about shows and movies if they killed this character off or anything on there too, And I don't really think of it as like that's going to ruin my day. Back in the day, if the Cowboys won, I was happy. If they lost, I was not happy. But I always did pick'em pools with my dad in my dad's office. And I always wanted to win that. And a couple times I did when I was young. And a couple times I won recently too, playing with that too. And so I kind of worry about that too. When there's money on the line, got to win some money. That's the thing too. Slizzle 2290, any commercials offhand you distinctly remember? Yeah, I remember, different Doritos ones and M&M ones, and the one I remember that I will always remember is it was for the Tide pen, and I thought it was a very clever commercial that also gave the point across that this is useful and entertaining and memorable. So the Tide pen was the guy is interviewing for a job, and he has this nice shirt on and a tie, and he's got this big stain on his shirt. And the boss is talking to him, and the guy's going to reply. And as he's replying, the stain is like, blah, 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 blah. It's like making all these noises. And it's drawing your attention more than the guy's response. And he's like, don't let it stain, blah, 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 whatever. And the Tide pen, I don't know if you could have a stain and get the pen and like put it on there and it would take the stain out. I don't know. I never used the Tide pen. But it's memorable, and I remember that. I remember the Budweiser frogs, Budweiser, and then What's Up, and all that stuff from Budweiser. The Doritos one where the guy, or it's a little kid, has a time machine, and it's it's so funny because there's a it's like a cardboard time machine, and the guy goes in it, and he's like, "Oh, you have to pay with the Doritos," and he gives the big bag of Doritos, and it's a little kid, and he's like pushing the box from the outside. He's like, woo, 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 woo. He's like, "It's working, Timmy, it's working. Oh my God, blah blah blah." And then an old man comes out. And he pushes the old kid. He shushes the young kid away, and the guy comes out and he looks at the old man and he's like, "Timmy, you're so old," because he thought it was the future, and it was just actually the old man's house that he was actually on the front yard, and or the little kid that's the Volkswagen commercial, and he's dressed up as Darth Vader. And he's going around, he's doing the force powers. And he goes to the car and he sticks it out. And the dad hits the remote start and it starts up. And he's like, "Whoa, I did it." And he started as kind of memorable too, Little things like that. And of course the Clydesdales and the whatever commercials and some trailers that came out then too. And, I've always remember, especially afterwards, when the Super Bowl airs and they have the different commercials that are on there. And then they still play the commercials on other, networks and shows afterwards. And so I remember, like, "Oh, it's Super Bowl, it's a Super Bowl commercial." So yeah, John, the Super Bowl is today. I think I want to say it's 6:30 East Coast time. So 5:30 New Orleans time, which probably won't kick off. That'll probably be like introduction of this and that. And they have the national anthem and then this and that. And we have all these things. And then kickoff won't probably be to like 6:47 or something. I don't even know when it actually is, but it's a weird time typically. And I'm glad I'm not betting on anything and everything. You can bet on the coin toss, the color of Gatorade, how long the national anthem's going to be, this, that, anytime touchdowns on there. And you can do the block pulls. Everything, it's a fun thing to do. I think they said it's going to be $1.39 billion or some ridiculous number is going to be bet on the Super Bowl. And everybody wants to win a little money. Who doesn't want to win money potentially? And if you do something, you win a little bit, it's a good day. Whether your team wins or loses or doesn't even play, you'll remember that Super Bowl. "Oh, I remember that." Like, I've never won on a block pull. I've never won. I always have like 5 and 2 are my numbers. And I'm like, well, this sucks. I need 15 and 12 or 35 and 32. And the score is probably going to be 24-23. And you need a 4 and a 3. And it's like, oh, it's going to be something crazy. So I'll have to see actually it plays it out. But, I personally think I would love to see the three-peat because it's never happened in the NFL. And I love history about that, and it would be kind of cool to see different things and just to see a part of it, Now that I'm in my 40s, I've been watching football now for, I had to say 40 years, but let's say if I was, 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old watching football, it's been like close to 40 years that I've been watching football. And a lot of people have been watching it more than me. And any kind of sporting event. And it's kind of cool to see something different, too. So, yeah, and the other thing, too, I always find it interesting is that the halftime show, the performers are not paid. So I don't really see why you would want to do the halftime show. Yes, the notoriety. Yes, the advertisements. Yes, the billboards. Yes, whatever, and on there too. But I think the NFL should at least put them up in housing and make sure they're okay. Or also, like, donate to the charity that the performer wants to. Right? At least do something with it. Like, that would be really good that if the NFL donated $1 million to, Kendrick Lamar's charity or favorite charity or something. Because, like, the NFL is a $1 billion industry. It makes billions of dollars. And it's definitely something where they can kind of do a little bit more with this day. and they're going to be making billions. Like, Fox has this Super Bowl this year, I believe, and I saw a report that the commercials cost $8 million for, I don't know if that's 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, but $8 million per commercial. So I know Fox had to pay the NFL to get the rights for this, Super Bowl and maybe a couple Super Bowls. Maybe you buy a block of Super Bowls and you pay this and you pay, I don't know, $500 million or whatever it is. At $8 million a pop, are you going to get that money back? Plus, however else they're making money too, right? You wouldn't be paying someone hundreds of millions of dollars for a one-time event if you're not going to be able to make that money back or make a profit. But I don't know. I don't know the business side of it. I just know that the NFL is making a bunch of money. The Super Bowl is more of a corporate event now. And it's still a day of entertainment. I know it's an American-made day, but I wonder if people are excited about it in Europe or Australia or whatever too. Because if it's at 6 o'clock, 6:30 here, what time is it there? I don't know what it's going to be for the actual game time for that too. And so it's pretty cool, we expect to see some trailers, expect to see some stuff. I'm still waiting to get the definitive answer of Dead City Season 2. They're still filming Daryl Dixon Season 3, so that's probably the October show. And I would assume they'll probably be filming for another month or so, and that'll finish there. And then where does it go? Is it going to be a fourth season? Is it going to be a different show? I really hope there's a satisfying ending with the Daryl Dixon show. I really hope that Gimple and whoever have said, this is what we're going to do with the Daryl show. This is what we're going to do with Dead City. This is what we did with The Ones Who Live. This is what we did with the main show. And hopefully it's that. Don't just end it. Don't just be yep, and Daryl lives in Europe now. Okay, that sucked. Because we all can agree, or maybe agree, but I think we all could say that we want to see Rick and Daryl reunited somehow, some way. So does Rick go to Europe? Because that's where Andy Lincoln lives, at least some part of the year, so he could film. And or does Daryl come back to the United States and maybe they just film it in Europe in a field somewhere and call it Alexandria or Commonwealth or whatever. And you don't have to film it back in the United States to say Daryl and Carol came back home. They could film it in Europe. But I need to see that resolution and to say that, okay, Daryl did all this, but at the end of the day, he was reunited with Rick. And we got to see the connecting once and for all. And Daryl and Rick are reunited. But what would the King, Ezekiel, and Jerry show be about? Right? I think there would be a lot of potential. I would personally love to see the Mercer show. But I don't know what these people are going to do in the zombie apocalypse. If CRM is not a threat anymore, if the zombies are not a threat anymore, if there's no threat, what is the villain for that show? We know what the stuff has been for the other shows because it's been shown to us. And even if you have the hero, the protagonist, what's the antagonist? What's the problems of those things? And if there's no problem, then we're just watching them hang out. That seems like a Tales of the Walking Dead episode type of show that I wouldn't mind seeing that. If you did one more season of Tales of the Walking Dead and we saw Aaron and Father Gabriel, Jerry and Ezekiel, whatever. That would be kind of cool to see. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know what they say or how it's going to be. But that is kind of where we're at now. We're in limbo. So if Dead City Season 2 is going to be back, I'm guessing, late April, early May. 6 weeks takes it into June if it's May. And then Comic-Con's in July. I don't know if there's going to be an announcement of that or what they're going to do. And then the Daryl show. So I don't know. I mean, I would assume they have to have some sort of AMC panel, and they could just put The Walking Dead in there too if Walking Dead's not going to have their own panel again, which I hope they do. I mean, that was a big reveal a couple Comic-Cons ago about The Ones Who Live. But we'll have to see. Only time will tell. But all right, guys, that's my hour. We got Super Bowl today. Chiefs, Eagles. Who you got? Like I said, if I'm rooting for a team, it's for the Chiefs for the three-peat because I'm a Cowboys fan, and I can't say that I'm rooting for the Eagles. But if Saquon wins, sure, that's cool too. But all right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Who you got in the Super Bowl? I'll be back next Sunday to talk about who won the Super Bowl, how it went down, and if the refs actually helped the Chiefs win another Super Bowl or not. Thank you, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, sacrifice, you can believe and achieve your goals, whatever they are. Keep working hard and enjoy the Super Bowl if you're going to watch it, and I'll see you guys.